slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. I feel like I'm JX. J-Way. I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless. I'm gone. Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck. Give me that. To the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Who Will Be King. I'm here with a couple of my NFC North comrades. It's a foggy and mild day in Michigan. How are you guys doing today? How's the weather wherever you guys are at?
It's a beautiful 73 degrees with very little wind.
Sunshine. 73?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We'll be cold here in the next couple of days again. We'll be back to winter, but
okay. And you said it's hot where you're at. You're obviously
the winter's over.
The winter's over. Oh,
it's done. It's over now.
What is the temperature right now?
It's getting close to 80. So wow. I'm not going. It's
February.
I'm not doing no more snow. No more puff jackets. I'm not doing any of that no more. No more gloves. Any of that stuff is done with. I'm not. The winter's, like I said, the winter's done for me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, don't go back home because I know we got snow coming in the next next week. But that don't sound too bad, man. It's about time I take a vacation or something. But we are officially into the off season. It is post Super Bowl, but pre-combine. We are in that little stage in between where teams are trying to figure out their cap situation. So the Dolphins have set the tone with the releasing of Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, and Jason Daniels, I believe is his name. So and they may not be done. But
to what?
Yeah, I would assume that's not official though, right?
No, it's not. And they didn't do what Kansas City did, where they renegotiated or moved money around for their quarterback.
Right. They value their quarterback a little bit more.
Just
what was that, Pay?
No, I was just saying exactly what you said. They actually like their quarterback.
Right. But yeah, well, before we get into all our teams, are there any players that they've gotten rid of that you guys would find value in between the Chubb and Hill, any of those guys? Dave, I think you're in the market for a receiver possibly. So
yeah, but and Tyreek Hill, thinking about it, would be nice to have, but he's not necessary, and especially with what he brings with him, his baggage. He's looking for probably one more big contract. He's got like 14 kids to take care of or something like that. And so he's wanting a big contract, but he can be a problem. We have enough of those already. So we don't need to add another one.
Oh. What about Bradley Chubb?
Nah. Yeah. I'm not enthused by any of the Dolphins or a potential one in Tua Tagovailoa, because there's been rumors he might come to the Minnesota Vikings, and I seriously doubt that happens. Because can you imagine Tua coming to the team with Brian Flores as DC?
The Dolphins, yeah. Right. Pay, you guys are you guys in the market for an edge rusher at this current juncture?
Yeah, the Bears would love an edge rusher. Bradley Chubb, not the type of edge rusher we are hoping to get, but beggars can't be choosers. I've said that before. Bradley Chubb will be an upgrade over what we have opposite Montez Sweat. And he's gonna be a lot cheaper because since he's already available, we don't have to trade anything for him. But be wary of overpaying guys at his age and his position. The best you usually get out of guys over 31 from an edge rusher is probably about 7 sacks, 8 sacks in that range. So if you overpay them, either in dollars or in years, you are going to be upside down. So while the Bears could use a guy like Bradley Chubb, if maybe if it's just for like experience in the locker room, just to help some guys, go to the next level. Don't do too much.
Right.
So you're saying the rumors of you guys wanting Max Crosby are BS?
I never said anything like that there, Dave.
And yeah, Chubb did play in every game this past year. I think he played in all of them. And he had about 8.5 sacks, but in my opinion, he's a little too inconsistent. I think we, as far as the Lions are concerned, we need something more firm and solid. Because I think that you just bring back Muhammad, who's a lot younger and more productive at this point in time. As far as Tyreek Hill, he did voice a couple of years ago interest in playing with Jared Goff. But I think we're pretty solid, 1 through 3 with who we got. And like Dave said, I mean, he's looking for at least one more bag to support that, gigantic family that he has. So we certainly don't need to be dumping any more money into our wide receiver room. So yeah, I'm definitely passing on those two. But let's go around the room. First and foremost, talking about any possible cap casualties, guys, that you might be opening up some cap space with. And then secondly, who are your notable free agents that you're looking to retain or let go? We'll start with Dave.
Oh, we got Javon Hargrave was one. Jonathan Allen may be another. However, I doubt it on Allen as cap casualties. TJ Hawkinson actually may be one. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll just rework his cap. But other than that, no, there isn't a whole lot of, we got to get rid of this guy because his salary is too high.
And you guys have free agents, or you guys, you name the ones that are possible cap casualties. Uh-huh. Who are your notable free agents?
Our notable free agents are, well, there's Harrison Smith, if he retires. CJ Ham already retired. Eric Wilson, the linebacker that we drafted way back when, and he came back and he did well. He's 32 years old. And we're talking about possibly giving him an extension. A lot of people would want to. Jeff Okudah is on the list. Rondell Moore, Tavir Thomas, Justin School, our backup swing tackle. Carson Wentz, whoops, who cares? Andrew DePaulo, our all-pro long snapper, is on the list. We want to sign him back, without a doubt. And then there's generally a whole bunch of people nobody's heard of, except for Jalen Naylor. Jalen Naylor, our wide receiver 3, he may go off and get a bigger contract somewhere and become a wide receiver 2. Him, and then there's Jalen Redmond, our defensive tackle, young defensive tackle, but we're going to keep him because he's a IRFA, and we'll just sign him to something cheap or better. We'll do an extension on him, hopefully, because we want to lock him in. He turned out to be something really, really nice. Ivan Pace Jr. is a restricted free agent. What we do with him, I don't know. We'll find out.
All right. And Pay, first and foremost, cap casualties. Who are potential guys that you might release to open up some space?
Tremaine Edmonds. End of list.
Okay. And it sounds like you're all for that.
Oh, I've been asking for this for about 2 seasons now. Wow. Nothing against the guy. I think he's a fantastic player, but I don't think he's exactly what the Bears hoped for when they signed him for that money. If just for non-Bears fans, this was the replacement for Roquan Smith. They brought him in after trading Roquan Smith for pennies on the dollar. Shame on you, Ryan Poles. They traded Roquan Smith for pennies on the dollar because they couldn't come to a fifth-year long-term extension for him. They ended up getting Tremont Edmonds in the subsequent free agency period. Tremaine had been a very good linebacker for the Buffalo Bills up until that point. He comes to the Bears. He's been serviceable with the Bears. He's been mostly playing coverage Mike for the Bears. But I don't know, man. Chicago, we like guys to play on the line of scrimmage. We like guys to make plays in the backfield. We like that type of stuff. And to be honest with you, we've seen better coverage from linebackers, especially coming from the Mike. Now, he did have a good start to this season. He had 4 interceptions before he got hurt, and then, that kind of killed any momentum he had going towards a Pro Bowl season and possibly, continuing his stay in Chicago. But, again, not too much on the guy Tremaine Edmonds. He is a very good linebacker. I just think for what we're paying him, we need a little bit more production. And unfortunately, in this business, when you have a veteran team, when you have a team that has a window open, there are going to be some cost-cutting measures. And then when you start looking at guys who are not giving you the production equal to their contract, those are the guys who you probably say bye to.
So there must be a pretty good relief on the cap if you were to release a guy like him.
Not much. The Bears are over. The Bears are about $10 million over the cap. I think releasing Tremont will put us under the cap, but not by a significant amount. I think maybe by $5 or $6 million. We still got a lot more work to do after that. And segue to the next part of your question.
Free agents, the internal free agents. Who you got?
So there are a lot of free agents on that other side of the ball, on that same side of the ball, defense, primarily in the secondary. Nashawn Wright, you know him, Dave. He had a fantastic season, a career season for the Bears. Ended up in the Pro Bowl. His contract is up. He's probably going to get bagged out this spring. I'm thinking he played on $1 million deal. He's probably going to get 16 times that, at least.
For one good season. Wow.
Hey, people love turnovers, Dave.
They do.
I do.
And let me tell you something else. They love the frame from a Nashawn Wright. He's 6'3" and 6'4" in that range. You can, and he's physical and he makes plays on the ball. That gets you paid.
Is he outside or is he inside?
No, he's an inside. He's an outside guy. He played. There was a point in the season where he was the number 1 corner for the Bears. Now, a lot of that had to do with injuries, but he was very productive. You can't knock production. He led the league in turnovers as an outside corner, so he's gonna get paid. He probably is going to get priced out of the Bears budget, but that's their business. So there's Nashawn Wright. There's both our safeties, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard. Got to figure out who we can bring back from that duo. As you know, Byard is 33, but he's one of those culture guys, one of those locker room guys. He's had great seasons. He plays games. So why you haven't seen him dip in his play yet, but you never want to get caught holding the bag. I mean, it's dangerous game, Dave.
Or Harrison Smith.
Yeah, don't. But
we would love to have him back, and he's 37.
Yeah, and he's still Harrison's still productive. I'm still scared of Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Brisker, another fan favorite. Brisker wins games for you, and from the safety position. Problem on his is how many games can you get out of him? He's had a lot of concussions during his short career. Got to make decisions. Elsewhere, we got Dayo Amadeng. I'm gonna mess up his last name, tongue-tied. Let's just call him Dayo. Got him last free agents. Came from the Indianapolis Colts. He had let's call it let's call it an underperforming first year with the Chicago Bears. He was signed to be our opposite guy, Montez Sweat, to rush the passer. He was terrible in doing that. He had a little bit of a spark as a run stopper when they bumped him inside, which is a demotion. And let's not call it what it's not. When you're paid as an outside rush and you get bumped inside, you got demoted. And then he tore his knee. So
I'm
cutting him
where he's most likely going to be released with a injury settlement.
And doing so would not save the Bears much because he got paid, as the way his contract is. He probably had to get moved after the June 1st, the window we can do there, and it'll save the Bears about $1 million. Again, not a lot, especially when you're trying to retain guys. Like I said, all those guys are named: Byard, Nashawn, Brisker. These are guys you probably want to have back, but probably outside of the budget unless you can make a lot of things shake.
What about C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
C.J. Gardner-Johnson is another one, but C.J. Gardner, he was brought in to help. You would love to have him back, especially if you can't keep Nashawn. You probably keep C.J. If you can't keep Byard or Jaquan, you probably want to keep C.J. Since he was already outside of a job when you got him in I think that was week 7.
Early.
you might be able to get him. You might be able to get him for a discount. Maybe. We'll see. On the offensive side of the ball, here's the name a lot of people are talking about. DJ Moore. DJ Moore, fantastic wide receiver, fantastic Bears player, fantastic fan favorite. He's probably the most liked guy on the team. And and this is a fact. We were doing a show when he got signed. It was like breaking news. He is the highest paid Bear of all time. What does that spell for you? It's that business. $28 million cap hit. So it comes down to dollars and cents there, Dave. Are you getting $20 million worth of production out of DJ Moore? 50 catches, 600 yards, 6 touchdowns.
You could restructure.
You can. And that's probably where you'll start with guys like DJ Moore, guys that you definitely want to keep back. You have that little bit of leverage, like, hey, we're not getting bang for our buck here. Let's help you help me.
Right.
Let's do this restructure. Let's do the Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. And restructure. All 4 NFC North teams are over the cap as of right now. They'll have to get under it when the start of the new league year hits. But all 4 are over, and it's just the amount. I think you guys are the least at like $5 to $10 million over, and then it goes on up to us at 40 to 50. But our problems were pre-set up that we can restructure 3 guys and we're done, and we're back underneath and have spending money. So I'm not worried about the cap per se.
You said the Vikings are the most over the cap in the division?
In the division, yeah. We're second most in the league.
Mm.
We're now the most because the top most was Kansas City.
Mm.
And they just freed up like $48 million.
I've been thinking. I want to get the capologist for the New Orleans Saints. I want to get him on the phone. Let's see if we can sign him, because the way they've been making numbers move the last few years. Got to get that figured out.
This is their last year, I believe. They're paying, and then they're done.
I don't know how they were like 130 million over at one point. I don't know how they did it.
Wow. All right. So as far as the Packers are concerned, they have a few guys. There's a number of guys that they may look to cut to get under the cap. Rashawn Gary, who was a underperforming player for them this year. Also, Elgton Jenkins, who was in the final year of his contract. They would save $20 million getting rid of him. He's a former Pro Bowler and had a down year as well. As far as Rashawn Gary, it would be $11 million they'd be saving. Outside of that, Nate Hobbs, their cornerback, and I don't think they would cut Josh Jacobs, but I think that he would be a candidate for restructuring his deal to open up some space. As far as notable free agents, they got a pretty nice list over here. Obviously, they have Malik Willis, who was their backup and got some work last year. Rashad Walker, who played 94% of their snaps at left tackle last year. Quay Walker, who led the team in tackles, as well as Romeo Dobbs, who led the team in targets as well as receiving yards. So a couple of pretty significant players. Obviously, they have acquired Parsons this past year, so that's going to take up a lot of their money. But as far as their top fit going into this year, free agency wise, Greg Newsome, they're definitely going to be in the market for some cornerbacks. Any thoughts on what the Packers got going on?
They're losing all those guys, and I love that for them.
Well, I noticed that the oldest one of all their free agents is 29. And we've heard for years, you got to have a young team. Green Bay is the youngest team. Green Bay's so young. They're going to win, blah, blah, blah. Well, that didn't happen. Did they make some noise? Sure. But did they win? No. And, but like I said, the youngest one is 29 out of all these free agents, or the oldest one. That means these free agents are going to have a lot of other teams looking at them because most of them are anywhere from 26 to 27, 28. That's like coming off your first contract.
Right.
So, hey, I feel sorry for them that they're going to lose all those players, but hey, it is what it is.
I don't feel sorry for them.
Sorry.
That's called sarcasm. Hey.
Yes, of course.
Oh, my bad. I'm direct with my Packers, so
straight off the hip.
Now they're wanting Romeo Dobbs back.
Yeah, I mean they always have. I mean, they had some wide receiver issues last year, so
I guess they have to say that publicly because you don't want to be labeled as a against the handy capable. You got that.
What, you talking about the helmet?
That huge helmet. Yeah, that huge helmet.
Come on, man.
You gotta say you're welcome here. You gotta at least say that, right?
Right.
But we know.
I do think of that initially out the gate. I mean, that's probably why he's got the most targets. You can't miss that dome running down the field.
Exactly, because we all know Jordan Love. He got his eyes closed, be throwing the ball. So I'm gonna just throw it towards the blimp.
Mm-hmm.
Love is blind. But lastly, the Detroit Lions. As far as the casualties are concerned, David Montgomery, who there was a lot of speculation about whether he wanted out or is he getting enough touches. He would be a $3.5 million. He would save $3.5 million cutting him, but I kind of feel like that. I feel like they're going to patch that up and make that work. Hopefully, outside of that, you got Graham Glasgow and Taylor Decker, who are two members of our offensive line. I can't see us pulling the trigger on both of them, possibly one of them. But Graham Glasgow was our center last year, and Taylor Decker has kind of flirted with the idea of retirement. So there's always a chance that could be a factor in things. And lastly, Brock Wright, who was our backup tight end, who was mostly when Sam Laporta is healthy, is mostly used as an extra blocker. But with us bringing in a tight end specialist at the offensive coordinator job, that may factor into whether or not we choose to part ways with Brock Wright. As far as notable free agents, you got
Hey.
Alexander alone. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Aren't you going to cut Marcus Davenport? Or are you going to keep him?
Well, okay, so that kind of plays into the free agents that I have coming up. I think they said that they're possibly picking up the option on Davenport as well as Pascal, two guys that did not play much last year.
Or the year before, or the year before that, or the
Right.
year before that, or the year before that.
Dan Campbell, I would venture to believe, likes him a lot. He did come back at the end of last year and didn't contribute much. So, although it wasn't a complete season-ending injury, I think he had a big enough sample size where we could decide whether or not he was worth something. And I tend to lean on not. And I was kind of a pretty big advocate for him going into the year, but at some point you just gotta cut your losses. But as far as other notable guys, Alexander Zaloni, DJ Reader, Al-Qadim Muhammad, I'm a pretty big proponent for bringing him back because he's been one of our better edge rushers the last 2 seasons, even when Hutchinson was out with that devastating injury. Roy Lopez is another guy that I'm hoping we bring back. Amik Robertson, who's a slot corner, nickelback. I think that we part ways with him. Rock Yassin, I'm kind of on the 50-50 with him. Avante Maddox, I would like to see him come back, if nothing else, to be a depth guy as far as safety is concerned, because Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are kind of up in the air right now. Outside of that, Khalif Raymond, I can see us parting ways with him and allowing Isaac Tesla to kind of take over. And Jake Bates, who is our kicker. I'm hoping that we bring him back. But the guys that I see as being on the bubble right now are definitely Rock Yassin, Arthur Mollett, I think his name is Arthur, and then Thomas, who's another backup safety. But that is it as far as internal free agents. We can get to our first break, and then let's talk NFL draft. All right. So the NFL Combine starts February 23rd. So we're about 8 days away from that.
I believe the players hit the field for the first practices or whatever test on the 26th.
On the 26th.
But the 23rd is what I care about.
Right. So let's go around the room. Who do you guys have your eyes on and as possible targets and guys that you guys want to see in the, what do they call that, glorified
underwear Olympics?
Yes, underwear Olympics. That is it. Pay. We can start with you.
Well, Dave, you're not going to tell us why do you only care about the 23rd?
Because that's when you start to get the head offices and the coaches speaking to the networks, the question and answer period. And I want to see if our acting GM, Rob Brzezinski, actually gets up there and speaks, and what does he say? And then I also want to see if Kevin O'Connell, what sort of questions he gets and how he uses those to deflect or, give us a glimpse of where he's going this offseason with the team, specifically quarterback. But yes, that's why I care about that first part. And that's where you get your beat writers that are going to go meet at the different restaurants and pubs and stuff like that. Because, hey, it's all about the combine and learning these college players, right? No, it's You got agents talking to teams. All that stuff is happening. The no tampering stuff is like, just don't get caught. It's all that is when all the rumors start coming out. This team's targeting this guy. This team targeting that guy in free agency. Oh, they're working on a trade for player X. All that stuff starts to leak out. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Tampering period. Yes.
So, Pay, who you guys looking at going into the combine?
It is an odd feeling right now for Bears Nation. We have, I see your brow furrowed up. Usually the Bears have had a lot of cap space and a drafting in the top 8 or so. This year, man, you got to do a little digging. We got to find some money in between couch cushions. We got to look at the back half of the draft rounds just to see where we're gonna fit in. So right now there is, as I spoke earlier, we have a need at safety, right? Well, we might have some job openings at safety. Where the Bears are drafting at 25, we might be right there for the second best safety in the draft, which is consensus Dylan Thymon. Am I saying his name right? From Oregon?
How I've heard him, yes.
He's a 6 foot, 205-pound guy. So not the biggest safety in the world. So we definitely want to see, how's his agility look? How's his speed look? And see you can see all the mental stuff on tape, but we want to see how he is as an athlete. So that's one guy we're looking at. Also, the Bears have needed front defensive down linemen for the last 5 years. Another guy that should be available from the Ohio State, Caden McDonald. You definitely want to check him out too. See where his strength is. 6'3", 330-pounder. Dave, what do we call those type of guys?
Big round bellies, baby.
There we go. Want to see how that round belly looks. No diddy. So that's the two main people that I'm checking out. Now, if they look too good, we're not going to get them at 25, but just right, we can take them out. Other names to be on the aware of: Caleb Banks, another D tackle from Florida, a little bit shorter. Well, actually, no, he's taller, 6'6", 334. There's another Monroe Freeland. Now, he's an offensive tackle from UGA, around the corner from here. The Bears will need another tackle after Ozzie Trapillo had a patella tendon injury late in the season. So will the Bears go ahead and make another high draft pick at tackle? I probably wouldn't see it, but I also what I'm hearing is that the Bears are going best player available. They've got a lot of they like where they are right now as a team, that they just want to plug and play right now. So those are 3 guys that I'm looking forward to see. We'll see what the Bears do in April, because they shocked me last April. Shocked me again. This time, let's go to Super Bowl.
Who'd they draft in the first round?
Colston Loveland.
Ah, yes. That turned out all right, though.
Yeah, it's not all right. Detroit, take a tight end move.
Right. Hey.
It worked. Now,
yeah, it did work.
Would you be interested in trading up if you had a chance to grab Caleb Downs?
They like their Calebs.
I like Caleb. Listen, Calebs have been very, very good to me in my sports life. I'm loving the Calebs right now that's in my sports life right now. They're doing me very well. They didn't give me a Valentine's Day gift, but I like the love they show me all throughout the year.
I believe Dane Brugler of The Athletic is promoting that trade up for him.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit too risky, in my opinion. I think the price tag on something like that would just I don't know. I have to see how that's structured. You would probably have to give up 3 picks. So I mean, that's fine. That's fine. 3 picks for a player in this draft, I could deal with that. Now, giving up 3 picks for a guy like, as you said earlier, Max Crosby. Now we're getting in close past that line, because you never, the word I used earlier, overpay. You never want to pay for somebody for what they did already. And what we will be doing, we'll be paying Oakland down the line for somebody who's probably not even, in his prime anymore, or worth it at that point. You give up 3-4 picks, and then 4 years later, we're still paying for this guy. Now he's only giving us 7 sacks a season. It's not worth it. Maybe if we won a Super Bowl, then we can talk about it.
Though.
You're right. The window is not open now. You got to be careful. Got to be smart. Got to be smart about this. You don't want to leverage the future. That's for one. What am I talking about? I'll take the one.
Yes, you will. You know it. Sounds good though.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. For Caleb Downs, I wouldn't be mad at him. I do want to see the compensation package. How many picks would it take? And how many players would it take? Who would be trading up for it? I think he's a top 5 pick. So
top 10 at least.
Rough. But the good thing though, Dave, it's not a quarterback draft.
No, it is.
So that the prices come down just a tad.
All right, Dave, who you got your eyes on?
For the Vikings, that's a great question. We're looking at some of those defensive tackles that pay us as well. Hey, we're all bunched up together in the draft. You guys, Foster, you lead. You're at 17, we're at 18, and then Pays at 20 something. I don't know. We could use a corner, but will Brian Flores want a rookie corner? That's a question, because he likes experience on his defensive backfield, which makes the whole safety question. Do we draft a safety, which we've been that kid from Oregon has also been projected to us. And Tyler's already watched this tape and says, no, it's not worth it. He should be a 3rd rounder, not a 1st rounder. But I really don't know at this point. I like some of the wide receivers, and the wide receivers may come into play if we don't re-sign Jalen Naylor and we trade Jordan Addison, which is still a possibility. That can come into play. Then we want a receiver. There's no centers worth a 1st round pick. There's no linebackers. It's just, I'm curious to how it's going to play out. That's why I'm waiting on those first 3 days. I want to hear what Rob Brzezinski says. I want to hear what Kevin O'Connell says. How are they looking at this draft? Because we don't know. Without Kwesi, I knew we were getting to know how Kwesi looked at the draft, but we have no idea how it's going to go this year. So not quite sure. Where can we use players? Yeah, of course we could. Plenty of spots on the defense, on the offense. There's not that many on the offense. You always want to get a lineman at some point in time. I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea.
Yeah, still early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know a lot more once the combine
Caleb Banks is a big name for us right now.
What's his name?
Caleb Banks.
Caleb Banks.
Defensive tackle out of Florida.
Okay.
And of course, Tyler loves him because he's defensive tackle out of Florida. But he's 6'6", 330 pounds. and he's long. He's built more like Daniil Hunter was. Almost can scratch his knees from standing up. And that is a very good and possibility of a spot that we take, because one, how many times do you get a pass rushing defensive tackle that could also stop the run? They're rare. When you do, you want to keep them, i.e. Sexy Dexy or somebody like that. He can play anywhere from one technique to or three technique, either way, inside. He's supposedly good. He's got room to put on more weight. He's tall, he's lean, 330 pounds. That's the one I would really like to see us draft, but because that would be a first. He would start, and he'd be automatically. Would he start every play on defense? No, none of our defensive linemen do, but he would be a big part of it, and I think that would help on the defensive side. But it all comes down to like I said, if we trade Addison and Naylor goes in free agency, we're going for a wide receiver.
Was he hurt last year?
Who?
Caleb Banks?
Yes, he does have an injury history.
And apparently he's from Detroit. Interesting.
Not bad.
All right.
We won't hold it against him.
Well, as far as you said what?
We won't hold that against him.
Right. As far as the Packers are concerned, I didn't get any specific players, but it's apparent that their top priority is the cornerback position. Outside of that, they're looking for some help on the defensive tackle to strengthen their interior run defense, and lastly, their interior offensive line, and that'll be depending upon whether or not Sean Ryan, who played all over the interior, he's a restricted free agent. So if they are able to retain him, maybe not as much of an issue, but if he leaves, they'll have to address that as far as the draft is concerned. Now, the Lions, we're definitely prioritizing the offensive line and defensive line. We're focusing on explosive players and defenders that can be versatile and can fit into our scheme. So that's why the Caleb Banks guy, as far as him being able to play inside and outside and having some good size, he kind of piqued my interest the more that you guys talked about him. But as far as the players that I'm interested in looking at in the combine, Ruben Bain out of Miami, he's an edge rusher. Of course, the Lions are always interested in looking to address that opposite edge position. David Bailey out of Texas Tech, Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, and Akeem Mesidor out of Miami as well. So a couple of Miami guys. And the two hot names that I've been seeing mocked to us are Ola Vega Ione out of Penn State, who we talked about previously, as well as Caden Proctor. And those are two offensive linemen. So, yeah.
If you want to learn about some of the defensive tackles, go back to Sunday's 2-0 bloggers, Darren and I. Our last segment is on our defensive line, and we looked at some of the defensive tackles in the draft.
Okay. I will definitely check that out. Any more news around the NFL that is talk worthy right now?
Ooh, we talked about the Dolphins, talked about Pat Mahomes restructuring his deal. There is
the whole Brian Flores going to court.
Oh yeah, they are. Well, I don't think it got to the Supreme Court, but they did say this can go to court now.
Yeah, it's the federal level before the Supreme Court said no, it can be taken to court. So Brian Flores and the other two coaches that are plaintiffs can now take it to court. The only place for the NFL to appeal to is the Supreme Court. That's the only one left, and they don't think they're going to get it. So it looks like it's going to happen. They have, I think the first court date is in April.
All right.
There's the grades issue. If you want to talk NFL, the whole NFL arbitrator, which was Roger Goodell, said, nope, you can't put out all your organizational grades like we've had the last 3 years, where they grade the coaches, they grade the facilities, they grade the owners, they grade, where the players do that, NFL Players Association. And it supposedly violates the CBA because CBA says you can't say anything disparaging. And there's the people that got Fs are feeling they were disparaged. The Jets owner for one, Arizona for another, even Pittsburgh is slammed sometime for being cheap. So what the NFL Players Association says, fine, we can't go public with it, but where players are still going to do it and they're still going to get the report. Wink, wink. And if it leaks, it leaks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, you put up, their argument is you put up our grades on Sunday nights, PFF, and they'll do Ed Ingram graded a 57 last year overall, and he stinks. Well, why can't we do that with the clubs?
It's only right.
Yeah. And the whole, they tried to get it to affect change, and it has affected change with a bunch of the clubs. They've improved the food and all that sort of stuff, but it's pissed off others.
Accountability. Everybody doesn't want that.
But I think it's great. One, it gives us as content creators tons of stuff to talk about, and
that's a good week of episodes right there.
Right.
I love it.
And it does improve the overall product. We may not see it. We may not see that, hey, Vikings are real good with players' families. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. But you hear the grumblings on other teams that are like, no, we ain't doing it. We don't care.
When are the grades normally, or when would they be dropping, or when would they be complete?
That's a good question. There's sometime during the summer that they come out.
I think before the draft.
Maybe.
It's a good time.
But the whole idea is to help with free agency, so it may even be before that.
Right. Well, yeah, that's I was gonna say that's where you kind of see the impact on, you don't see the inside of the facilities or how good the food tastes, but I mean it certainly plays into the
where you go. Are you there for just the money? Well, some players are. So going to the Jets is no big deal. But if you're there to, all right, I know that I've got a good cost of living, relatively speaking, good neighborhood, good schools. They take care of my wife and my kids. There's daycare. The wives can come down on the sidelines. The family can before the game. Some players have complained about that. All sorts of stuff from, hey, they feed us. We don't have to buy it out of a vending machine, and they feed us good, high quality, nutritional food. One of the complaints I saw is they didn't separate players' eating time versus the rest of the front office eating time. And that caused problems because the front office types would come in and wipe out whatever's prepared, and it's mainly prepared for the players.
That's crazy. I thought it was going to be the other way around, where they got to muscle their way around the players.
No, and it's not. I'm sure some offensive lineman would gladly sit down with somebody in the analytics department and, talk while they ate, but it's the fact that, hey, you've got chefs here and they're fixing me high protein diets or specified diets so I can recover quicker. And yet the secretary down the hall is eating it all up before I get a chance at it.
I think we've all gotten to the point where we can now officially say that we don't like Pam Beasley, right?
Right.
I love the
That was an office pun.
Yes. I love me some Office. But yeah, some of that stuff seems kind of like automatic. Like how are like all the money they're making? How are they not? How is food and small things like that an issue? But apparently,
well, it depends whether they're cash rich or cash poor. Cincinnati's horrible. Now they're trying to improve, but they've been notoriously cheap.
Yeah,
and it's. Part of it's the owners. How do the owners feel about it? Are they just there to make money? Or are they there to invest in their assets?
I'm as much of a socialist as I like to be, I'm trying to get that back. I want my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't realize the money you put in could eventually come back to you tenfold.
When you sell, yes. When you sell it, yes.
Speaking of which, Seattle Seahawks just went up for sale today.
Yes, they did.
Oh, wow.
The news that broke right before, a day before the Super Bowl, that they were going up for sale. And
they officially notified the public today.
Yesterday, they said we are not tagging Super Bowl MVP, former MSU Spartan, Kenneth Walker III.
Hey.
I saw that too. He'd be interesting on the Vikings, but I don't know if we want to pay him.
That's another thing you never do. You never overpay. You don't re-sign your own running backs. Let somebody else pay them. Just get another one.
The Lions fans would not agree with that.
Hey, the rumors already started. Jahmyr Gibbs might be a free agent one day soon.
I didn't hear those. I heard I did on our local radio. Somebody did propose a trade, Chris Jones for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and the host was actually entertaining it, and the fans are just letting him have it. Like, no.
Why would you get rid of St. Brown?
Why would you trade St. Brown for Chris? You're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, Chris Jones, right?
So I mean, the money
like
is about
40.
even, and they expire at the same time. But yeah, I mean, Jones is way older, and we do
that
need.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, it didn't. But and I don't know. Maybe he was just kind of playing it up for the shock value, because the shock value is definitely there. It definitely got the people going. But no, I mean, yeah, he was a Pro Bowler this year, but I mean, and we did, it seemed like there was some interest back when he was last a free agent, but no, it doesn't. Age-wise, it doesn't make sense. I mean, impactful defensive players and defensive line, we do need that, but St. Brown's one of those guys that, like, lifelong Lion is just, that's what I see when I think of it. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, yeah.
Oh, it's like they're going to trade Justin Jefferson. Like, no, we're not.
That's more likely.
No, we're not. Not this year. We would have to eat, it's like 45 or 48 million in dead money. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't pay us enough.
Not this year. Next year.
It's 2027, maybe.
Right.
Not in 2026. No, it's not going to happen.
Oh,
and think about it. It's just like Vikings fans, me included, dreaming of Joe Burrow. It's not going to happen.
Hmm.
But Tua's that's up your alley.
No. Hey, we get another quarterback that's too short, prone to concussions. No. It doesn't get along with our defensive coordinator. Makes perfect sense.
The good thing is that they're in different rooms now. They have to talk to each other.
Oh, I'm sure they would see each other.
Yeah, they cross paths.
Tua suffered a concussion today inside the building. Well, how did that happen?
Yeah.
He passed Brian Flores in the hallway.
Induced by a by a coach. Yeah.
They
All
make
right,
him put the squishy helmet on.
And he doesn't use one, does he?
He said he would never wear that. All right.
Yeah, but does he go? Does he go with Malik? Green Bay
Willis?
Willis Hughes. And it's, I should say, and also Aaron Rodgers for a while. The big bubble helmet, what I call the bubble helmet. It looks like almost a motorcycle helmet because all you see is black padding around, but it's like 3 inches thick, and it looks like he's like from Spaceballs or something.
So not the covering, but just a different shape.
It's a hard shell helmet, but it's a whole lot thicker with padding.
He's like he gonna get hit and he gonna look like a buoy out there. He's gonna turn upside down. That's all that weight on top of his head.
And wobble.
Yeah. Reverse bowling pin.
But yeah, things should certainly get more interesting in the upcoming weeks with free agency coming up on the March 11th, and the franchise deadline coming up pretty soon as well. But what you guys got going on over the next week?
We are dropping an episode for the wide receiver room. Last episode, we talked about how we can improve the trenches and how that can push the Bears towards Super Bowl 61. Now we're going to talk about improving the wide receiver room and what do we need to do from that room. Maybe make some additions or, make some cuts to make the team better. We shall see. That will be coming out Friday. Elsewhere, we got basketball coverage every Monday and Tuesday. We got baseball shows coming out every Friday now live. Check that out for the Cubs and White Sox. Asterisk. But yeah, always a fun time at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Don't miss out on those great episodes from me and my team.
Dave?
What we've got going on is I've got one more show tonight. I'm going to guest on Vocal Vikes show, and he calls it OG Vikings Talk, since I'm one of the OG guys, and links in the chat. It's tonight at 7 Central. We're going to talk everything Vikings. And then tomorrow we'll have a pre-recorded, which we recorded today, Tyler Fornes, The Real Forno Show, which we talked about some interesting topics. You'll have to join at the normal time. It'll premiere. And then we'll have 2 old bloggers on Sunday at our off-season time, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We get some extra time to sleep and fix breakfast and have a good old time during Sunday because there's no football. So you got time to come listen and talk Minnesota Vikings with us.
And as far as Bleachers to Speakers is concerned, we are hitting that final run towards the NBA playoffs. And as Pay talked about, we have a show every Monday where we talk about the Central Division. The Tigers' first spring training game is coming up on Friday. So we'll be giving you coverage weekly for that. And then it's almost that time to start doing draft profiles for the NFL. So stay tuned for that, along with combine coverage and free agency. So whole lot, whatever is your fancy. And on the way out, what do they say in Chicago, Pay?
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Dave.
We say Skull Vikings.
In Detroit, we say thanks for joining us, guys.
Get your lick back. If a nugget owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat.